It's not all beautiful pictures and in-depth stories when it comes to this filmmaking thing. There is layers and there is levels to this. For this channel, I get to wear multiple hats. I get to be the writer, I get to be the producer, I get to be the director, I get to be the cinematographer, I get to be the editor. In traditional film sets, every single crew member specializes in one individual thing. And that's how this differs from this YouTube channel, is that I get to do all of the things. Something I have high hopes for is that these tips along the way can help you in the process. It can help you become better at what you want your craft to be. Something important about wearing all the hats is knowing what each department does. The most important thing with that is knowing the breakthrough moments and knowing the challenges. So you know the highs and you know the lows, so you're able to prep the right way. So when it comes to being a producer and being a director, something I'm really passionate about, you get to gear yourself knowing what every individual does and the trials and tribulations within those to gear not just yourself up, but your entire crew for success. If you're new to this channel, my name's Joseph Lipsen and I'm a tech and filmmaking creator based out of Seattle, Washington. And I've been doing this for about 10 years now, this whole film thing. So that does sound crazy because 10 years is a lot of time, but I like to share some of my experiences along the way, some of my past experiences, with the hope that maybe someone comes across this and they're going through the same thing or they're having the same question, and this channel can be a resource to help you. But with that, make sure you hit that like button, hit that subscribe button so you do not miss an upload. So the first tool I've been using for the past 3 months has been an app called Milanote, and this app has changed the way I create and ultimately making me more organized throughout the process. And I've been using this app for both my personal stuff and my professional stuff. And I'm not being paid by Milanote. These are my truest thoughts on the app from using it. I've used many others just like it, and this is the one I keep coming back to. And these are my truest thoughts on how the app has helped me. Not paid, not sponsored. The first reason I really love this app is because you get to organize visually. And for me, I'm a very visual person, so being able to have everything laid out in front of me makes it a lot easier along the process and eliminates wasting time. But with that, what the nicest thing is that everything is in one place. From shot lists, to budgets, to crew calls, to schedules, all of these things live in one place. So how does Milanote work for me? Well, that's what I'm gonna get into. And the first thing is your homepage. This is where everything is stored. This is where you're gonna come to whenever you log on to the app or click open the app. You're gonna come right here. And it starts off with what I like to use first is my log line. I like to say what my film is about, what the goals I'm trying to get across are about. For example, the idea of this video is resources that can help filmmakers become better directors and producers. That would be my log line. That is the story I'm trying to tell. And then I have the storyboard, and this might be the part I'm in the most because I love being able to be creative within the storyboard. But this is where I build out the entire story. Shots, titles, timing, songs, all of those things are built out within here. So when I hop into the edit or it goes to an editor, that is where they can look to kind of carve the story that I've put together in my mind when I eventually get it down onto paper or keyboard for that matter. As a director and a producer, this is really where the tones and the mood come together in the film, is within this area. This is where you really gain kind of what you're going for and what your overall ambiance of your film is gonna be. The next thing is the script, and when I write my videos, I write them very scripted. So I have topics I want to talk about. I have them scripted line by line, word for word, and that's something that I think is lost in appreciation in the filmmaking process, is the scripting. You have the storyboard where you have all the visual, but then you have the story that comes together, and that story comes together and complements so well with the storyboard in the scripting process. And the reason I think it's a lost appreciation is because I think when you sit down and you just write, that's where you get your truest form of story. And ultimately, that is how I build out all of my videos, is within this scripting process. And it's something I take really seriously and something that I like to just jump into a different world. That's kind of how I describe it, and just write in the way I would write and then see how it portrays out to the world. And when you're talking to an audience, You have to figure out a way that works for you, but also works for an audience that's listening. The next thing that I have in here is a call sheet, and this isn't really so much something that is used in these videos, it's more used in my professional videos, but it's to make sure everyone knows where they're supposed to be, when they're supposed to be there. And then when you really have to test your mind, you really have to test the way your mind works, then you get into the shot list. And this is taking basically the scripting phase and the storyboarding phase and the scheduling phase and putting it down into a different area. And that's the shot list. This is where you take your storyboard and you work backwards. You take each shot and you plan out how long it's going to take in pre-production to get that shot to where you want it to be when you ultimately hit record. That includes setting up at the location. That includes lighting and testing lighting. That includes hitting a record and making sure you have as much time to get the takes you want. And my advice for this is always overplan your time. Whenever you think your time's going to be, add like another 30 to 45 minutes to that, because in this industry, nobody's a perfectionist, and you're gonna go and go and go until you are forced to hit record and film the scene, because there's always room for improvement. There's always room to make your shot look a little bit better. And then budgets, the fun with budgets. Sometimes you're given a budget and you have to stay within that budget, and it's important that you do. It's really important that you do. That's like on a professional level, but sometimes with my YouTube videos, there's things I have to buy. There's things I have to buy to make a video happen. There's things I need to buy to light myself a different way, and there's things I just need to buy along the way. And with AdSense and with making money on videos, I need to make sure I'm always knowing if I'm breaking even, if I'm losing money, or whatever those may be. So keeping a budget within those videos is real crucial to the process. This is a very boring phase, but it's most crucial to that of the creator and or that of the client to make sure you're not going over budget. You can do so much customization to tailor your page to be exactly how you want it in that pre-production process. The possibilities of pages are endless, and it's not just for filmmaking. You can do this as a photographer, as a creative director. You can do this for all of the aspects within the creative field, and that's what's nice. There's so many built-in presets of pages that you can really tailor it to yourself with also having the help of guidelines. Next up is a website that is a huge compliment to Milanote, and it's called ShotDeck. But what ShotDeck has done is made what seemed like the impossible possible, and that's finding frames and inspiration through motion pictures. Now, I'm not a movie guy. I don't watch a lot of movies, but I do appreciate everything that goes into a movie, everything that goes into every single shot, and I do appreciate the art behind how every shot looks. So what is ShotDeck? Well, it's a website that is a library of most scenes from movies, TV shows, commercials, and you can use it as inspiration to light so many of your own scenes. What this tool masters is, in my opinion, the art of practice. It allows me to practice framing, lighting, moods, tones, all of those things. It allows me to practice those and see how others who are masters in this craft have done it. There's a big thing in this field, and especially on the YouTube front of it, and it's copying versus inspiring. With how many frames you can reference from TV shows, movies, commercials, you might think you're just copying frames. But what I like to think of it as is how I can use these frames to find ways to light myself in a different way. No matter how I find whatever frame I'm taking and using as inspiration, I'm using it in a way to see how light hits subjects. I'm using it to see how different framing works. And I'm using it to see how I can frame myself, get my mind moving in a little bit of a different way. You should never take a scene and copy it straight up where you can't tell the difference, and if you can do that, that is very impressive. You should use it as inspiration to help yourself light your own scenes or help yourself compose your own scenes. What's nice about ShotDeck is you can straight up search for anything you want. You can do it by keyword, and then within the keyword in that search, you can keyword again, so you can really narrow down and filter exactly what you're looking for. And then when you find a frame you want, within there you can see other frames that are just like it from other movies, or you can go straight up into that movie or that TV show and get frames from that movie or TV show. You can filter your results even more. Genre, time period, color, aspect ratios, time of day, frame size, shot type, lens size, composition. There's almost too much information to help you out. But then there's more. Once you choose a specific scene, you can do a lot more within that image, within that reference. You can click on the director and get more, cinematographer or DP, production designers, costume designers, editors, colorists. You get the point. What this website does is it creates the ability to practice. It creates the ability to practice scenes. It creates the ability to grab inspiration, and it creates the ability to build out a story in a more in-depth way. So when you're shooting, you're not also thinking of how you're framing things. You're using all of the tools as you're wearing multiple hats to make sure everything is covered. That's the way I like to explain it. But that is ShotDeck. But those two softwares, Milano and ShotDeck, are two things that I've been using religiously for the past 2 to 3 months to not only help my personal work, but also my professional work. And it's just a great place for me to put all of my ideas down, to get everything together, and to be able to wear multiple hats. But with that, make sure you hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. I'll have both of them linked below so you can maybe download them for yourself, try a free trial, and let me know what you think in the comments below. I'm truly passionate about making these videos, so let me know down in the comments if these are videos you're into and if there's another topic you maybe want me to cover within the tech or filmmaking space, and I'd love to. But with that, peace.